Oh, are you gonna do the shortcuts here?
I tried to find some, you know, where I could. So I would recommend, if you're interested in learning more about differences between, because when I made the video back in the day, the Remake or Rebreak episode, we didn't really have a lot of evidence either way about Dreamcast, GameCube conversions. There's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't know unless if you hack the game, basically, and like look at the programming and compare the textures side by side. Like apparently Dreamcast textures are actually higher quality. For one reason or another, either to get the game to run at 60 FPS consistently on the GameCube, or just because of how the GameCube compresses textures, you can compare like I'm not even just talking about like, oh, they changed the color of the starting point in Speed Highway, for example. If you look at the exact same textures side by side from either version, you'll notice that they are in lower res, and they have some compression artifacts on them too. So that is a thing, but you wouldn't really know about that unless if you were trained to look for it. I make it, don't worry. And yeah, so when I made the video, there's no way I could have known any of that stuff because I didn't really have access to the tools to hack the game, for one thing, nor the ability to look at the code and say, oh, the reason that the chameleons don't attack you in this version, like, I would never stop to let them attack me, for one thing,
Yeah,
not bad.
But even then, it's just, I probably wouldn't have even noticed that they don't attack you in one version.
The thing that caught me off guard with the chameleon, though, is that, like, it looked like as if the chameleon was floating. Did it not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my point is that there's plenty of evidence to suggest that the GameCube version has a lot of added glitches and clunkiness and lower quality textures. Like, apparently the lighting engine took advantage of very specific pieces of the Dreamcast architecture, like things that would show up in that were like available in software but didn't have dedicated hardware for it. Look at that face, though.
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
Oh my god!
It broke new ground!
Like, the Dreamcast version has a special lighting engine that apparently just did not translate to GameCube hardware, essentially. So instead of trying to recreate it, they just didn't bother. Which is, and I don't know if this is directly because of that or just a related issue, but all the cars in this version of the game have like a reflective effect on the textures. Like you know how like when you get like something out of a chest in Ocarina of Time, how they have that kind of sheen to them?
Yeah, like the metallic kind of.
Yeah. So the cars have that sort of look in this version, but when you play it on the GameCube, that's completely gone. Like, it's just a flat color. So there are lots of differences, like more than I could have ever imagined, and more than you would be able to spot unless if you were deliberately looking for it. So yeah, this was pointed out to me because I was basically doing some practice tests for this playthrough before I set out to actually play the levels, which is probably a good thing because I ran into quite a few glitches actually when I was just practicing the game for the playthrough, just running through Sonic's levels in trial mode. So I can, the playthrough ended up being overall more smoother because of that, but this game still has frame drops and slowdown in certain parts. I'll be sure, we'll be able to see that in the footage here, but I was kind of, I guess I was kind of concerned because when I played Adventure 2, I'm probably going to be I might play the Dreamcast version if that's what people want, but I might also do the Steam version with mods so I can get it, Point is, I'm going to try to pick the best version for that, and I was concerned that playing the Dreamcast version would make the game look worse.
Honestly, I think if you just want to do Battle, the GameCube version for Battle, I think that'd be fine. But it's...
Yeah. I have the DLC on the Steam version.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I did
What kind of mods are there for Sonic Adventure 2 for Steam? Because I couldn't find really anything
actually
that
quite
was...
a few.
Really?
Yeah, like you know your complaint about the spin dash.
Yeah.
You can actually there's a cheat you can use to make it so that it's like this game actually.
Really? So then how do you do the somersault?
I'm not sure.
Do they map it to a different button, like how it should be?
Possibly.
Because that would be nice.
There's also a patch that came out recently that changes the Emerald radar to make it more like Adventure 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So there are things you could do, you know, if those are things that you want. And I personally like one of my favorite things, ironically, is just like a cheat that makes it so that you have all the upgrades right away. Because I think it makes the levels more fun to play.
Right. Because like if
they're
you're,
like tricks.
If you're doing like Metal Harbor, and you know you just get the light speed dash, I see it all the time where like people get the light speed dash and then they reset the level so that way they can use it.
Because you can get lots of bonus points with light speed dash ring trails.
That's how you get the A ranks. I wouldn't know.
By the way,
here
we're showing off the Burger Shop girl now.
And there's the Burger Shop boy.
Yep. So there's the girl in the park out there. And by the way, frame drops.
There's your emblem.
Slow down. Yeah. The frame rate kind of goes to shit when you're in the Burger Shop for some reason. Yeah, so I did try to talk to everybody I could find, you know. The Burger Shop girl's over there. I probably talked to her earlier, but she has a crush on the guy who works at the Burger Shop. And she's trying to work up the courage to go ask him out, basically. And we'll see updates that subplot as the game goes on.
You thought Majora's Mask had interesting worlds. Hold on to your britches, boys.
Now
you've got
Ryan, since I know that you also like Majora's Mask, that's your fagoat, your favorite game of all time.
Yes.
Please don't tell me you think that the NPCs in this game are nearly as interesting.
You know what? I'll leave that up to interpretation. If you want to think that, I ain't going to stop you.
Alright.
They're not. I'm sorry.
The lightspeed dash is slow in this game.
Which thankfully they improved in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the lightspeed dash I find is, like I said, it's a good way to get bonus points in the stages. Like if you see a trail of rings, you can usually get like 200, 300 extra points for doing that if you're going for your A rank. You can also get kind of shortcuts with that. So she's closer to the shop, but she still hasn't gone in. But in this game, not only did I find that the Sonic's upgrades at least don't really get a whole lot of use.
They really don't.
Like the lightspeed dash you're required to use it a couple times in the levels, but there aren't a whole lot of. Well, there is one Casinopolis that'll show off
in the very beginning of the sewer section.
Yeah. Like that's something helpful and optional that you can do with it, but there's not a whole lot of that kind of stuff, at least from what I could find in this playthrough.
And you showed off a segment in the third act of Windy Valley where, you know, there's two paths. One you can take with the rock and one you can take with the Trail of Rings. If you can make that jump with the well-timed spin dash jump. Like, it's possible to do it without
I'm sure you could, but I didn't want to risk falling in the pit, you know.
You just gotta rotate the camera while you do it, and then you'll be fine. I've done it countless times because I'm an elite gamer.
You're elite gamer.
Very.
By the way, this guy right here, he's like a fancy venture capitalist, and every time you talk to him, he says, "I own this building." And then he'll bridge out into some, like, these two are twins. They came to Station Square for a vacation. Like those two girls in the swimsuit right before you go to Emerald Coast of Rescue Tales, those are the same two girls.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's cool.
And this guy right here is involved with the girlfriend-boyfriend subplot.
Why does he hate the stars, though?
He likes this ocean.
Oh.
Yeah, he likes to look out at the sea. You could, when you talk to him earlier, he'll say, "I love the sea."
I see.
So, there is kind of a charm to these NPCs. Like, usually I don't bother talking to any of them because I'm just too busy going from level to level, so it was kind of interesting to, like, actually slow down a bit and talk to all of them and see what they're all going through.
Slowing down in a Sonic game? You're playing it wrong!
Well, it is a hub world after all. It's not like, you know.
True. So let me ask you then, what are your thoughts on Sonic Adventure's hub worlds?
Well, I'll give them this. They're small.
For the most part.
And they're not that hard to get around.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had to have them, I'd prefer that they be like this. But I much prefer not having them, personally. And just going from level of stage to stage, you know.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what to think about hub worlds in Sonic games, because I like the ones in Adventure for the most part. I think the one that's in the Mystic Ruins with the pyramid, that one's too big for its own good, I think.
This is the crystal.
Yeah.
But like all the others are fine. But I think Unleashed, they had a really good middle ground, where it's like it's interesting, but it's also kind of like small and compact.
Yeah, but you still had Professor Pickle dictating where you could go all the time.
I mean, I'm talking just about the hub worlds, like the way how they're designed and they're structured, not necessarily how they're paced out.
I mean, I suppose from that point of view, they're fine.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, they're just...
Whoa!
Oh, look at that water. Like, the later ports may have more glitches, but this game is not glitch-free on the Dreamcast,
absolutely not. I was with my ex like several years ago. She was playing this game for the first time, and she was playing in Twinkle Park. She jumps into the car, and then the car fell through the floor, taking her down with it. And I was just floored because I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love this game to pieces.
Casinopolis is open, but the only way in is closed. Sorry. Translation: use the lightspeed dash to hit. By the way, I grabbed a power-up called the Crystal Bracelet, I think.
Speeds up the lightspeed dash.
Yeah. Make sure you get that, because otherwise you're going to be waiting around way too long for the lightspeed dash to charge up. So definitely, you can get it as soon as you have the lightspeed dash. This level's a little bit different. Like, the other stages are very much straight shots to the end. There is a component of that in this level if you want it, which is my preferred way to get, but... there's this vault here, and when you have rings and step on the switch, these little metal arms will shake them out of you, and then you basically need to build a mountain of rings so you can get up to the Chaos Emerald. And there's an invisible wall that if you have less than 400, even if you jump correctly, you'll get stopped by an invisible wall.
Yep.
So you do need 400. There are two pinball machines. There's this one that has slots that's based on Sonic, and then there's another one based on Knights
You're not
has
even going to try?
I do try it. That was just naturally where the ball went. You know.
Oh, okay.
I do try to at least show off the slots, because like my preferred way to get enough rings in stage. It's just adding insult to injury is what that is. I didn't even have that many.
Why even bother?
So yeah. If you're gonna troll me, wait for a more opportune moment, is what I say. Yeah, but one thing, while the Dreamcast, like if you look at the files of the game, has higher quality textures, the way it handles... I'm not sure if it's the MIP mapping exactly, or if it's just like general texture filtering, and it's hard to tell for Ryan, since he's watching this in a lower resolution. But if you play this in full quality on a monitor or, you know, a TV, and I find that this happens in every Dreamcast game I've played. If you look like a certain amount of space in front of you, this is the Trail of Rings we were talking about earlier. That's like one of the few instances of like optional lightspeed dash opportunities that are very advantageous. Like, you'll fly through a bomb capsule, which will blow up all the enemies and give you... This game doesn't even have a score, does it? I don't see one.
No. No, it
You just have rings. We'll talk more about that later, in terms of SA2 things that I like, but there are several different passages that you can take in this big cylindrical room. They all lead to the same place, as far as I can tell, but if you want to grab as many rings as possible, you can try grabbing all the capsules and stuff wherever you can find a door, you know.
And later paths will actually lead to other areas.
What?
Later paths, like there's 2 rooms with the giant fans. There's one they go into later on. The second room actually has different paths you can take, but like they all lead to somewhere different. Like they all eventually lead to the same area, but they'll take you down different paths. Like some paths will have more rings, others will have no rings. And I think there's like even one where you like completely bypass an entire section, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. Well, I don't know, as far as I can tell, and we'll see that after we clear the second wind tunnel here.
Which, yeah.
Like, as far as I can tell, they all end up at the same entrance in the final room of this path.
Right.
But, I don't know, I might be mistaken. But like I was saying earlier about, like, if you look like, say, 6 feet in front of Sonic, in terms of the 3D space, like, up to that point, the textures will be in full quality, and then after that, I think they go down to the next map. With, bilinear filtering. So it's like a certain amount of space in front of Sonic, the textures suddenly get visibly blurrier. That's something that is changed in the GameCube version. They hide the mapping much better on GameCube. Either that or the quality is actually so much lower on the GameCube that they're just that blurry all the time. See, I don't know which.
I'm also noticing that there's a path that you could have taken. It's the one that gives you the most ring boxes going up. If you go down that way, it'll actually take you to another area that you go up to through a ventilation shaft. Like it'll actually blow you upwards, and then it'll take you to another area where you can get more rings.
That's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yep.
All right, that's why I brought him along, folks, so that if we could, if I didn't know something, he was here.
Yep,
pointed out.
That's pretty much how you can get all 400 rings in one go. Which I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you said it already, but you need 400 rings in order to get the Chaos Emerald. Also, those are not rings that was being taken out of his body. Those are coins with his face.
So what I think you're trying to say, Ryan, is that Super Mario 64 is better than this game. I think I just killed Ryan, folks.
I'm getting there.
But, yeah, I don't know why they become coins. Maybe they thought that if they were rings, they wouldn't be sturdy enough to be a pile. I don't know what the logic was, but I did want to show off both of the pinball machines, and this one I do actually get enough rings that I can leave without getting... Like, if you get less than 100 rings and you lose all of your balls, then you get dumped into the sewers, which is the fastest way to get rings from my experience.
Yes.
And it's like, an actual kind of Sonic level to play, instead of just pinball theater.
Which, I'll be honest though, like this is probably one of my least favorite stages in the game.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite Sonic stage, but it's not even a bad level per se.
It's not bad, it's kind of uninteresting, because like the actual Sonic level that you get to go to, it's a sewer level. And sewer those kind of levels are never interesting. Oh, hey, there's Knights! How's your franchise doing, you prick?
I think Knights has like, he's kind of like a, Cockney accent. Like the Wii one, if you play the Wii one, I think he's voiced by a girl. Or is a girl, I'm not sure which.
I own that game, but I have not played it yet.
I mean, it looks like it has a lot of similar problems to the Adventure era, or just that kind of era of Sonic Team games, in terms of the writing and the voice acting you find. And
what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with the voice acting in Sonic Adventure. Nothing wrong, not at all. Perfect.
You can think that.
There's a difference between thinking and knowing.
Oh,
gotcha.
Damn, son. I'll give you this, Ryan. I think if we're talking like in terms of how well lines are delivered, I do think this game has the better voice acting.
Between what? This and
the
Knights?
second one. Than Adventure 2.
I would disagree. I think SA2 has better voice acting. I think it's more consistent.
It's consistently schlocky, which I find really entertaining, but it feels like the if we're talking what's closer to like genuinely good voice acting, I think this game actually does it better.
Nah, I disagree with you. I'm sorry. That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I complimented SA2. I need to wash my mouth out with soap. I don't hate the game. I think it's really good. Just,
yeah.
I'm a Sonic Adventure fanboy. Like I love the adventure games. Both of them. Still waiting on the third one.
But Ryan, there is a third one.
Rush Adventure doesn't count, Michael.
2006.
No. It's not Sonic Adventure 3 because it's not called Sonic Adventure 3 and there's no Chow.
That's true.
And there's no version of It Doesn't Matter.
So does that mean that Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood is Sonic Adventure 3? Because it has Chow.
But does it have a version of It Doesn't Matter?
Oh, it has a version of the final boss theme from Sonic 3 that sounds really good.
No, doesn't count. By the way, you know, you just listen to like any of the Sonic soundtracks on the DS, or any of the Zelda soundtracks or Pokemon soundtracks. You know what the DS is capable of. And you listen to Sonic Chronicles. It didn't even fucking try. It didn't even fucking try.
No. Oh no, you don't.
You want to know what the funniest part about that was? Is that was something Ethan recorded during Game Mavericks.
That was timed so perfectly.
Oh man, what happened to that?
There is this abridged series that was done by a YouTuber called Crash and Bash.
Eggman's got one of them.
Which I don't know if it holds up, and it occurred to me while I was playing this game that it actually has kind of a rape. By the way, they're floating in midair.
Yep.
It occurred to me that actually has kind of a rape joke in it that I probably would make me uncomfortable to watch now, but like there's a part where Knuckles will find Sonic and Tails standing outside of Casinopolis, like basically drugged out of their minds, and then Knuckles shows up and basically puts his dick in their mouth.
Oh god.
That's basically rape, but point is, in that playthrough, when he basically spoofed that cutscene, he basically made it so that it was like fart gas. So I was just I felt the need to put in a fart sound effect.
I just thought it was funny because we're talking about Sonic Chronicles, and all of a sudden we just hear that. It's like, that's fucking fitting. That's what the music sounds like.
Yeah, it does sound very farty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Nocturnus theme is great.
You know, this is actually something I don't like about Sonic Adventure as well, as having to carry around the Ice and Wind key. Because you only ever do it twice. They don't really do anything with it.
I hear the twins again.
Oh, hey.
With their pointy bikinis. And I'm not even talking about, you know, like... I'm just talking about how, like, the way that they're modeled, like, even the top part of the bikini looks like a triangle. I
was about to ask, who has it worse, them or the Great Fairy from Ocarina of Time?
Oh, Mrs. Pointy Boobs. She has a... See, that guy over there, he's dating a different girl now.
Wow.
He's just like, la la la, we're in love. She's the only girl. He said that about the other girl. I can't believe it, I'm so happy. And then if we walk back over to that guy who likes the sea, you know, I own this building. He says that every time you talk to him. And there's also a newspaper lady over there. Not this lady, but she's kind of in the corner there, and throughout the game she'll kind of give you hints about where to go next. In case if, you know, the red orb of light wasn't obvious. Yeah, by the way, camera's glitched through the ground. I don't know what you're talking about, I didn't see it. La 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 la, I'm not looking, la 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 la, this game is perfect. Eventually that girl went to the burger shop, but she just stood around, he says. Whap whap. Yeah, because she's... So what, I don't know, Ryan, what would be your explanation as to why the burger shop girl is so memorable from this game? Honestly?
I don't know. I mean, I could kind of relate to it, I guess, where it's like, oh, hey,
that's what I was gonna say.
Someone you like, and then you actually get to that confrontation, and you're like, huh, I never thought I'd make it this far. What do I do next?
What's your plan, Plankton? I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
And I love that you knew exactly what I was going for.
Well, allow me to suggest your next move. Curse you, crabs!
I went to college!
Now to put my extremely college-educated plan into effect.
Oh!
Here's Big the cat.
Ah, there he is! There's Big Boy! Oh, hey, Duke Nukem. So...
Shove it up your ass, you cocksucker!
When
When you reach hell, tell him Big sent ya!